missed that first free throw. We all
got
kind of
nervous.
grown. We thought
I was like, come on, I want my intro.
Yeah. Monte Ellis knocks down the shot. And Dwayne Wade is down on the court for Miami.
It looked like a pick. Somebody said, I couldn't tell if it was an elbow or a shoulder. Oof. Oh.
Maybe the elbow of Biedrins got him?
Elbow.
Yeah, got him right on the side of the head.
Looks like it kind of knocked him a little bit woozy there.
Yeah. Well, those are the type of blows as a boxer that, you know, grazes the side of the head and can really throw you off balance.
Just 52 seconds into this game, Dwayne Wade knocked to the court by an Andris Biedrins elbow. And still not quite ready to get up. Now this is the kind of thing you got to take this seriously. We've all learned so much more about head injuries and concussions in all the sports in the last 10 to 15 years. You can't take this lightly at all, but looking a little better as he walks off the court right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like 5 years ago, you'd be like, get up, come on, get back in the game. And now we know so much about it, you gotta be so careful.
So Wade with a little bit of assistance being helped off the court. They're going to continue to work on him, probably ask him all kinds of questions, make sure he knows exactly where he is and what's going on. James Jones will check into the game now for Miami, and he's done a nice job filling in for the injured Mike Miller as kind of the designated outside shooter for the Miami Heat as they continue to tend to Dwayne Wade on the bench. If any more details become available, we'll get them right to you. Here's Chris Bosh. He has started to come on in the last couple of weeks after really struggling at the beginning when all three of the superstars, Wade, LeBron, and Bosh, were trying to find their way. But it looks like they're all starting to get closer to their career norms. James Jones on Monte Ellis, who finds Biedrins, who adjusted the shot. A rebound, Mia Gsw. LeBron with a full head of steam.
When you think about it, how many teams in the league lose a guy like Dwayne Wade, and all of a sudden you're trying to figure out how are we going to score? And you have the luxury of putting the ball in the hands of LeBron James and trusting that you will not miss a beat.
And this trip, Bill, it's LeBron chasing Monte Ellis around the court.
Ooh, I don't know if that's going to work.
David Lee short. Rebound Jones.
Well, one thing you want your best players taking the challenge on the defensive end. It sets the tone for the entire team.
It has been an interesting subplot this year. The Heat seem to play a little bit better if one of these guys is out of the game because they can snap into their 7 years of playing on their own mode.
Well, one thing that Eric Spoelstra has talked about, he wants them to complete possessions at the defensive end. Make sure you get the rebound and then, Mark, get it up the floor as fast as you can.
Makes life so much easier when you defend and all of a sudden create turnovers, rebound the basketball. One thing Eric Spoelstra wants, if a big guy rebounds the ball, he wants him to outlet it to the point guard. If LeBron James or Dwayne Wade rebounds the basketball, everybody run the floor and those guys make plays.
In the last couple games, Miami's point guard has gotten much more involved with what they're trying to do. I think that was their way of trying to solve the solution to dueling banjos. LeBron shoots one time, Wade shoots the next time.
Arroyo and Mario Chalmers splitting the minutes at the point. And Dwayne Wade with an ice pack on the side of his head after, again, if you just joined us, taking an inadvertent elbow from Andris Biedrins on a pick attempt by Biedrins. And Wade knocked a little woozy, was down on the court for a couple of minutes before being helped off. Ellis fourth in the league in scoring. Nearly turned over, 2 to shoot. Reggie Williams. And the rebound down to Bosh. LeBron, nice touch pass. Arroyo passed it up. Bosh inside the arc, a little strong.
I have to say the Wade injury kind of took the air out of the crowd a little bit.
This, of course, the only visit for the Heat here to Oakland this year as Reggie Williams takes the bump and finishes strong.
Really a tough matchup because you're asking Carlos Arroyo, a point guard, to defend a bigger, really slasher, two-guard, small forward type guy that can score and score in bunches, and Williams uses that upper body strength to finish and get the contact.
Bill, what a find this guy's been. They brought him out of the D-League last year, scored 15 points per game over the last couple of months. And we mentioned earlier, he hung 31 points on San Antonio Wednesday night.
Yeah, he's one of my top 75 favorite D-League success stories so far.
Do you have the...
I'm going to do the list at halftime. Yeah, I'm saving it if it's a blowout.
Mia Gsw's crashing the glass, saves it. Shot clock didn't reset. Bosch switches hands, and a shot clock violation. Neither field goal attempt hit the rim.
Wow, a defensive stop for the Warriors.
A really good defense by not bailing him out, by fouling him, forcing him to take a tough shot.
Here's one thing that we always wonder with the Wade LeBron Bosch thing, because these guys basically have to play 40 minutes a night for them to succeed. When you get foul trouble, you get an injury, something like that, all of a sudden it's a pretty thin team.
Especially without a couple of key players. Mike Miller and Udonis Haslem both out with injuries. Haslem maybe for the rest of the season. Darrell Wright, the former member of the Heat, and he's been doing that all season long for the Warriors.
The guy is a legitimate scorer. Can score in bunches, can shoot with range. Feels very comfortable putting the ball on the floor and making plays.
41% from beyond the arc on the season, averaging 15 points per game. Miami retains possession, and Dwayne Wade coming back into the game. Let's get an update now from Heather.
Well, good news for Miami Heat fans. Head athletic trainer Jay Sable just walked by the coaching staff and said he's good. It was as simple as that. They checked his facial structure for any bone breaks. They gave him the eye test, checked for loose teeth, put that ice pack on his right temple as well as the base of his neck, and now it looks like he's good to go.
Look out. He's good to go. LeBron.
And, you know, this is a place, there's so much energy in this building every time a good team comes in here. And I think he feeds off that. I looked at his stats. Like every year he has a great game here.
He's really picked up his numbers over the course of this 6-game winning streak for the Heat, as has Dwayne Wade. Two-man game, Williams and Biedrins. The kick to the corner, right again.
The one thing you can't do is fall asleep against this high-powered Golden State Warrior offense. When you talk about Wright, Williams, Ellis, those guys can score, and you don't want to allow them to get going.
Wade loses the handle. Gsw lays it in. You can't teach 7-3.
And the thing about Darrell Wright is Dwayne Wade's, he had two close friends in the team. Udonis Haslem and Darrell Wright. He wanted to keep Haslem. He didn't care if they kept Wright, so maybe he has a little extra proof tonight, Mark. Spur in his saddle.
The tough decisions you got to make.
Well, apparently he didn't like him that much.
Somewhere Jeff Van Gundy is watching this knowing we still love him. We just upgraded.
Jeff Van Gundy's at the food table at the United Center right now having the post-game meal. He's not watching yet.
He's saying, who's that idiot with Mark? Is there a contest right now?
How about the Bulls picking up a win over the Lakers tonight? Another big night for Derrick Rose, 29 points as they beat the Lakers 88-84.
Incredible young basketball player, wants to be great and having an outstanding start to the season.
David Lee knocks it down. A good sign for him. You can still see that left elbow is bandaged after the infection that he got. The collision with Wilson Chandler, a couple of Chandler's teeth wound up infecting the elbow of Lee, and it came very close to getting very serious.
Yeah.
Miami turnover. Reggie Williams. How about that?
Mark asked Keith Smart before the game whether they're going to try to run with them or slow him down. I think they're trying to run with them.
And the thing is, they're doing it on the defensive end. So far in this quarter, the Golden State Warriors have played outstanding team defense.
You've never said that sentence before, have you?
Yeah.
No.
Felt weird.
Bosch. And the left-hander lays it in. The energy back in the building after those 2 threes by Darrell Wright, then the slam by Reggie Williams, and the undermanned Warriors on a losing streak and without Stephen Curry, an early 3-point lead on Miami. LeBron on Ellis again. Lee underneath, no basket, and a 3-second call on the Warriors.
Well, just exactly what we were looking for early. The big three, forget about it. LeBron James, grown man move, catching it, everybody out of my way. Warriors up 3.
Winning, they've won all 6 by 10 or more points. To be fair, they have played a number of sub-500 teams in this 6-game winning streak. But I know both you guys, let's start with you, Bill. You see a different kind of unity, togetherness from this Miami team right now.
Yeah, the first couple weeks, they just kind of looked like they had been introduced 20 minutes before every game, and they didn't feel like a team. And now I thought that Utah game was really fascinating the other night. They went in there, they won convincingly. And not only that, but they were doing handshakes and chest bumps, and they started to feel like a basketball team to me.
I'm going to tell you what, the bottom line is you win ball games, everything seems well.
Yeah.
Riding on the plane, riding on the bus, the locker room, practices. All of a sudden, this team has a bounce and a swag about himself because they've tasted some sort of success collectively rather than individually.
I do think if they had gotten smoked in that Cleveland game, there might have been no coming back from that.
One thing that maybe we don't talk about enough is Dwayne Wade didn't play at all in the preseason. So
right.
they didn't get those 8 games to work out some of the kinks before the game started mattering.
But I think that's a cop-out when people say...
It's cop-out?
Yeah, bottom
That's
line,
why we don't talk about it very much.
Guess what? We never worked together as a group.
Yeah. Well, we had an announcers meeting during the last time out. I feel that better.
That was preseason. You're right here.
By the way, Dwayne Wade was on Monte Ellis last time down the floor. So I think, Mark, it was you who asked the question. We're going to see a lot of different people covering Monte Ellis tonight.
I think it's smart to put a bigger body on him, leave Dwayne Wade or LeBron James on him. So this is a guy you don't want to get going, because if he begins to knock down shots, he is basically unguardable. He can score in bunches.
Averaging better than 24 points per game. And Eric Spoelstra said, with or without Stephen Curry, Golden State can hang 130 on you in a heartbeat. He is very wary, very respectful of the Golden State offense. LeBron again drawing the loudest jeers here. Left it short, rebound Biedrins.
I'm just stunned by the defense. Never expected this from Golden State.
Well, how much is a new head coach? Let's talk about Keith Smart a little bit. The offense is down for Golden State. The defense is better. They're down about 7 points scored per game, 7 points allowed per game. How much is Keith Smart focusing on defense?
Very prepared young coach. Understands the way to win in this league is to get it done defensively. So he's laying a foundation. And I love the fact that he's coaching. He's coaching this team. Last possession, as we see another defensive trip. Williams turns it over. He tells him, settle down, look to be aggressive, and Steph Curry enjoying the output on the defensive end.
I thought he coached the team last season. Are we sure Don Nelson was alive? Are we positive? I know he blinked a few times.
And Keith Smart did run a lot of practices, do a lot in training camp. As Wade gets the finger roll, Miami takes the lead. Keith Smart may be still best known for a jump shot he made over 23 years ago to win the national championship for Indiana back in 1987.
And people talk about Michael Jordan's game-winning jump shot in that Carolina blue. Well, Keith Smart had his own moment.
Yeah.
Tougher shot, too.
Pretty tough shot there by Reggie Williams. Golden State goes back on top.
He said it comes in waves with people mentioning them. It goes up and down.
Now that he's the head coach, he's riding the crest of another wave. A missed layup by Wade, who looks to one of the officials for a foul call that he doesn't get.
He's not in Miami.
Lee. And the rebound to Wade, who's been putting up some big-time rebounding numbers during his winning streak. He had 14 in one game this week.
Yeah.
Arroyo wide open, too easy.
And if you're Eric Spoelstra, that's exactly what you want. The ideal situation is for Wade or LeBron to dominate the boards, so then it starts your transition and you wind up with quality shots.
Eric Dampier is in the game now for Miami, defending Biedrins. He has taken the place of Ilgauskas. Biedrins backs him down and misses a little jump hook. Boy, he got as close to the basket as you can get, except for something like that, as Wade lays it in. There they are, getting down the court in a hurry again.
And that's where LeBron and Wade have really clicked.
And an offensive foul will turn it back over to Miami.
Talking about great hands in football, you trust your receiver. Well, nothing like having great receivers. The delivery from James, understanding that Wade is going to catch it. 48-minute process.
This is when it gets interesting for Miami, because Bosh is really the only power forward they have. So right now, Juwan Howard's in the game. This is where I think the Warriors can kind of exploit them on the boards right now.
Mario Chalmers is coming to the game as well. He'll split the time at a point guard with Carlos Arroyo. Howard now, as you look at Dampier, another newcomer to Miami. Howard in his 17th year in the NBA.
Did you go to college with him?
No, I did not. He's younger than me and embarrassed me one day by pulling me aside and saying I look just like his dad. Are you kidding me?
Who would have thought Juwan Howard would be the Fab Five guy who had the longest career?
Incredible.
Passes up the shot. And a 3-second call on the Heat. Well, for Juwan Howard, it's been a well-traveled road over the years, including 2 stops in Dallas, 2 stops in Denver. Seems to find a new team every year with Portland last year, but happy to be one of those role players on the Miami Heat this year.
And the great thing about it is you take a look at young fellas around this country. Watch Juwan Howard, the way he conducts himself, a true professional. No matter who played with him or coached him, they rave about him as an individual.
Now the official's going to talk this one over.
And it shouldn't be a basket because actually David Lee bobbled the basketball on his way to the hoop.
And that is the signal, so no basket.
It's like a football rule.
Derek Richardson with the call. Ron Garrettson, Tom Washington, the other officials tonight as you get another look. Good call?
Very good call. It's the right call because he lost it, gathered it, and then laid it in. But I got to say, I'm amazed. I didn't know you were this big, Bill. I mean, people came over before the game, ignored me. People that have spoken to me for years and years and years. Handshakes from you, signing books, everything. You are huge.
It's sneaky. No, I thought you were taking it a little bit personally after a while. You yelled at an intern and fetched you a Coke.
I did when you turned Jim Barnett, the Warriors announcer, into a groupie. He came over here like you were Willie Mays or something.
And he played with Bill Russell. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Appreciate it.
And the book's coming out in paperback, right?
Book is out in paperback. Yeah,
yep.
December 7th, so 3 days ago it came out.
New York Times #1 bestseller.
Yes.
In hardcover, now out in paperback.
Mark didn't like any of my Hall of Fame rankings.
Congratulations.
He was very upset about the new guys getting underranked.
Yeah, you're supposed to stir the pot.
Lunch was getting a little bit contentious earlier today. Louis Amundsen with a rebound. He's just coming to the game, just back from a finger injury. Missed the first 20 games of the season. Wright got a great look from the corner. He made a couple of threes from down there earlier. Inside, 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
LeBron in the low post.
Good D by Ellis, but then a reach-in foul on Ellis on LeBron.
Mark and I were talking about, both of us just think LeBron should figure out how to be on the low post a lot more often than he is, because his passing just makes him devastating down there.
Opens up so much for the entire offense, not just himself. He can score down there, but teams are forced to double team, and he's an unbelievable passer. Is going to create open shots for everybody else on the floor.
Here's Wade backing down into the post. Turnaround short. And 2 Warriors had it. Couldn't gather it. Miami gets another opportunity. Wade again. LeBron steps into the 2 and knocks it down.
What do you think of Dampier so far for them?
I think he's learning the system. The thing I think he's got to realize, you don't have to do anything special. Protect the paint, rebound the basketball, and you've earned your money. There's nothing like having somebody ask you to do a job that's right up your alley. Nobody asked you to come here and be Jeff Van Gundy. Then it'd be tough.
It's tough for Jeff Van Gundy to be Jeff Van Gundy sometimes.
Amen.
Eric Dampier, he'll get some minutes. We're also going to see probably Joel Anthony, who'll get some minutes, along with Zydrunas Ilgauskas. 3 different centers, and all of them figure to play for Miami on a daily basis. James from the free throw line. Tipped a couple of times by Dampier, but he can't get it to go. Howard with the offensive rebound, and he finds Wade for the lay-in.
Hey, Dan, did Bill Simmons say that Golden State Warriors would be able to dominate the boards with the small Heat lineup?
Yet another thing I'm wrong about. Add it to the list.
14-3 run, Miami. Reggie Williams for 3. And another rebound for LeBron. Quick look ahead, Dwayne Wade. And that's what Eric Spoelstra wants to see.
I mean, you could argue that LeBron and Wade, those are the two best finishers in the league, other than maybe Blake Griffin, right?
I think these two are the best.
They're 1 and 2 for you?
Absolutely. The difference with Blake Griffin, he can catch it in the paint area and make a play. These guys can go coast to coast and absolutely finish in traffic and alone.
Ellis lost it on the way up, but still got it to go. And that's all in the first quarter here at Oracle Arena. A slow start for the Heat, but they finish the quarter strong into the end of one on the strength of a 16-5 run here tonight. It's the Miami Heat leading the Golden State Warriors 26-20. 8 to 20 points in the first quarter, and in this win streak, they're only giving up 85 points a game. The
stat that jumps out to me: 14 rebounds for Miami, 7 for the Warriors. As I told you, that Miami was a better rebounding team, and that was what's going to happen.
See, it's live TV. Once you say it, it's gone.
What?
You don't bring it back in. Once you say it, it's gone. It's not like your Twitter account. It's not like a blog or a column. Just let it go. Just let it go. LeBron's on the bench right now. Dwayne Wade is in there, along with Chris Bosh, Mario Chalmers, James Jones, and Eric Dampier.
I will say, I think the Warriors are getting good shots. They're just missing them.
I just don't like the fact of posting up or isolating their bigs. You're not going to beat this Miami Heat defense staring them down with the big offensive guys, meaning Lee, Beatrice, all this. That's not going to happen.
So what would you do?
Pick and rolls, isolations, and allow those guys to catch and make plays at the rim.
Ellis misses the three.
Yeah, I thought when Ilgauskas was out there, usually the good teams just pick and roll him to death.
And a travel on Wade as we check out the NBA calendar. Monday night on NBA TV, it'll be Indiana at Chicago. Indiana over 500 right now after a win tonight. ESPN Wednesday's got a great doubleheader. Boston at New York, then Portland at Dallas, and TNT Thursday will bring you Atlanta at Boston, San Antonio at Denver. Would you like to take the opportunity maybe to talk about, I don't know, the Celtics?
Well, I said to you guys earlier, one of the things that stinks about doing a game is you miss all the other games.
Right.
I would have loved to watch that Bulls-Laker game. You just get trapped with the one game, you miss the other 11.
How about the Knicks winning again tonight? Beat Washington, and Amari Stoudemire had 36 points.
He's got to be the #1 MVP. Is he your #1 MVP?
No, he's in the discussion. Give credit, though, as you talked about when you mentioned Indiana, New York, two teams over 500 playing great basketball. Jim O'Brien, Mike D'Antoni doing an outstanding job with their teams early on in this season.
Dampier misses the first chance and has the second one blocked.
The Dallas fans are nodding right now.
Offensive foul, Monte Ellis.
You care to explain why the Dallas fans are smiling or nodding right now?
Because they watched Eric Dampier do this for the last couple of years. It's a little familiar for them. Now they have to watch Brendan Haywood do it. They can't get rid of the center that makes maybe a little too much money for what he's supposed to make.
I like that. And in the announcing world, I just put it by the rim and you just grabbed it with two hands and dunked it.
Dan Gsw reach into the game in the middle now, the former UCLA product for Golden State. Also AC Law, who was just brought in yesterday after being released by Memphis. He has checked in for the Warriors. Dwayne Wade with a strong finish.
And that's the biggest reason why there's so much energy in the building tonight. The return to AC Law, which we forgot to mention.
You're right. We buried the lead again. Strong finish.
You can tell Dwayne Wade looking to be awfully aggressive on the offensive end, not selling for jump shots, putting the ball on the floor and attacking the paint area.
Well, Mark, do you think it's tough? Wade and LeBron, it's been dissected so many ways, them playing together. Do they play differently when one of them is on the bench than when they're both in the game at the same time?
I think early on, absolutely. And it's natural to have that type of mentality because you're trying to fit in, you're trying to trust the other guy. Batman never played with Batman. He played with Robin. These are two elite, superior, talented guys, all-time great, trying to fit in and not step on each other's toes.
And I also think it was 7 years of...
Blocked by Dampier. Shot clock at 2. Law misses the 3. And Amundsen runs it down. Quick shot again from the corner. Darrell Wright.
I was going to say it was 7 years of those guys rose in the position of their team single-handedly rose and fell with how they were playing. I think it's hard to step out of that and trust other people.
Well, you make a great point because when other teams put on runs, it was almost like give this guy the basketball.
I have to take over.
Right.
Ellis will follow by Gsw, and they're back into it here at Oracle Arena.
Watching the Warriors right now, the thing I like about the way that they're playing is they're not afraid to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes in this league. Continue to put your foot on the gas pedal and be aggressive.
Five to shoot. Dampier. Wide left. Golden State ball.
Well, not a smart play by Chris Bosh. Instead of isolating Amundsen at the foul line, gave it down to Damp and got bad offense out of it. This place is rocking.
He's got to be Ringo here.
My whole thing is if a name comes, it comes. You can't force it down.
All right.
Was that your work?
What? The Threedles?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing with Blake Griffin, because Blake Griffin needs a nickname, but you can't force it. When it happens, it happens.
You don't get a nickname if you got, how many wins they have?
Well, they're 5-18. Maybe you don't get a nickname.
You can't get a nickname.
You can't get with it.
The guys in the truck put a lot of work into the Threedles, but there's got to be a fourth, so.
I could play the Steve Kerr role and just shoot.
Wow. Actually, your hair looks better in that picture.
That's what my hair looked like before it got cut.
Gsw with the long jumper. How about that? Golden State within a point.
And we were talking about Gsw earlier. He was an energy guy that ended up signing with a lot of money for Milwaukee as a role player. Stopped playing with energy, now in a contract here, and suddenly has energy again, Mark.
You think he's the first guy that's ever done that?
I think he's the first guy ever.
Whole bag of tricks there from Dwayne Wade as he draws the foul. So evidently okay after getting shaken up, getting elbowed to the head early in the first quarter.
You know, fortunately, Wade is okay, but that's a situation where we would make fun of him tomorrow in practice, basically saying he can't take a punch.
Right. Got a beater-inch elbow near the temple, it looked like, on the right side of his head. Was down for a minute or two. Missed a few minutes, back into the game and looking fine. Watch your favorite team at home, on the road, anywhere with NBA League Pass. NBA League Pass lets you watch great NBA matchups on your TV, computer, and a mobile phone. Call your local cable, satellite, or telco provider today, or log on to NBA.com/League Pass. I assume, Mr. Simmons, that is a staple in your household.
I love the broadband because you can watch the archived games. I watched the archived Utah-Miami game the other night. It was great. It was like 2 in the morning. I'm watching an NBA game.
Wright's already got 3 threes in this game. Law off to Amundsen, and he's going to help that second unit for Golden State.
And if you're the Miami Heat, you have to stay disciplined. That's good offense by the Warriors, but those are 2 shots that you will give up. One from Gsw and the next one from Amundsen. You'll live with those guys shooting jump shots.
And I'll tell you, Amundsen got some good reps last year in the playoffs because they went a couple rounds with the Suns, and he gave them some great energy games.
Bosh to Chalmers, and he buries the 3.
That's a guy that they really expect a lot from. Talking to Coach Eric Spoelstra, he said he's been a big part of our success the last couple of years. We need to get him going.
Gsw turns it over. And a 3 by Chalmers, by the way, was the first 3 of the night for Miami. Bosh from the elbow. Offensive rebound, Joel Anthony, the 3rd guy to play center so far tonight for Miami. Bosh turns it over. It's Golden State ball.
You'll see this from Chris Bosh sometimes. Sometimes he just gets, I don't want to use the word soft, but not aggressive, I guess would be the right word. He stays in the perimeter and he just doesn't get his hands dirty, Mark.
Do you know you did use soft?
Well, I didn't mean to actually use it. Unaggressive.
But I'd like to see him much more aggressive. He's really a 3, a small forward, power forward mixed in one as Ellis attacks the rim. I'd like to see him isolate and look to make plays.
Crowd is totally into this game now, too.
Golden State back within a point. Midway through the second quarter, LeBron James back into the game for Miami. Anthony the kick out to Bosh. 12-footer, a little bit short. Rebound, Darrell Wright. The Warriors looking for the lead.
I'm telling you, Darrell Wright's playing like a spurned girlfriend tonight.
The former member of the Heat spent 6 years with Miami. Darrell Wright did. Ellis is going to go to the line. Wright and Dwayne Wade are so close that one of the middle names of Darrell Wright's son is Dwayne. It's Devin Quinton, after Quentin Richardson. Dwayne Wright.
But did he spell it the D-W-Y-A, or did he spell it the conventional way?
No, Y-A. He spelled it the Dwayne
now that's
Wade.
loyalty, right?
Yeah, that is, yeah. To not correct goofy spelling on your kid.
But it shows you how in this league, in the world of sports, it's not just about sports. Relationships carry over for the rest of your life. So even though he's no longer a member of the Miami Heat, that friendship, that bond is going to last forever.
Well, another example of relationships carrying over. As LeBron can't get it to go, Zydrunas Ilgauskas with the Heat. That's a direct result of his friendship and association with LeBron James and the connection those two guys have. Amundsen working hard. You can't even hear the whistle in this building tonight.
And Amundsen has changed the energy of this game, I think.
Is he a free agent? I tell you what, Monte Ellis is a guy that can score, and you cannot contain him with one guy. Does a great job of splitting the trap, getting to the.
Listen, coach is really getting on me to, push me in the right direction. So hopefully I'll be a better point guard than I was last year.
Right, well, we certainly wish you the best of luck and a speedy recovery out there.
Thank you very much, Heather.
Dan.
Heather, thank you. A three from Mario Chalmers, the assist to LeBron, while Heather was talking to Stephanie Curry. Monte Ellis drops in a jumper. Keith Smart telling us that Curry and Ellis are becoming closer, that they have found more common ground. They have become friends, and that cohesiveness is showing on the court more between them here in Curry's second year.
Well, he made a good point. He said, Curry comes in, he's a rookie, he gets a lot of attention, and Ellis felt like it was his team.
Right.
And there's a little bit of a chemistry issue, and now they're buddies.
Jones the miss.
It's like me and Mark during this first half.
Absolutely. And one thing that really made a difference, Steph Curry took the time out during the offseason to attend Monte Ellis' wedding. Things like that really makes a difference and shows I care about you.
I'll tell you, Darrell Wright is all over the place right now. Couldn't finish, but what an unbelievable effort on his own missed shot. LeBron, how about that?
That's LeBron James. There's nobody in the league who does that. That's it. It's him.
Normal coaches in this league go to their bench and they try to create ways to score. When you leave LeBron James or Dwayne Wade on the floor with four other guys, just put the ball in their hands and good things will happen.
And that's why I wish they pushed the ball, because he's great in those pseudo-fast breaks where he just kind of sneaks in.
That's a reach, can't handle it. Got a great feed.
Oh, boy.
Oh. And LeBron couldn't finish on the alley-oop attempt.
Getting booed.
Law drives into the chest of Ilgauskas and draws the foul.
I love the Warrior fans. Who else would boo somebody for missing an alley-oop? It's a visiting player.
You got to finish that. That's a good pass from Chalmers. LeBron James not able to finish it. Operation success, but the patient died.
He's frustrated.
I bet he will get his revenge on the rim at some point.
Law at the line. ESPN is your NBA destination Wednesday and Friday night. What a big week it is for the New York Knicks, who are hot right now. They'll take on the Boston Celtics at 7 Eastern at the Garden Wednesday night. And then Friday night, it's the Miami Heat who come to town to take on the Knicks. Amari Stoudemire, as we mentioned, with 36 points tonight. The Knicks have won 12 out of 13. Stoudemire has scored 30 or more in 7 consecutive games.
And I thought at the time that he was a better signing for them than Joe Johnson, because Amari really thinks that he's a super-duper star. And you have to go into New York. You played there. You got to go into New York with that mentality.
Oh, a great basketball player, having a great season, certainly in the discussion for MVP. And it's really refreshing. I remember playing for the Knicks. They asked the players, who do we think we should draft? I said Amari Stoudemire. A week later, I was traded.
David Lee. AC Law, first game back with the Warriors, misses the layup. He played 5 games here at the beginning of last year, has bounced around to a few teams since then. And Keith Smart told us he was just released by Memphis Law was. He's got to call out some plays with the Memphis terminology so that AC Law can know what play they're running here tonight.
It's really not complicated. A lot of teams run the same stuff. It's putting your best player in positions where he could be aggressive and you get good offense. So AC Law has been around long enough where he's seen these plays and the offense that they're running.
Is it fair to say that every NBA team only has 7 plays or 8 plays?
Oh, it's warm. It's just variations of those plays.
Yeah.
You know, ultimately, what makes the difference between a great coach and a good coach is having Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. Bottom line is you can draw up anything, let them catch the basketball, and you're going to look like a genius.
That's a play call. Get out of my way.
Erik Spoelstra, his 3rd year as an NBA head coach. He is the 2nd youngest head coach right now in the NBA. He's older only than Monty Williams of New Orleans.
Hold on, Dan. I've been waiting to do this all game. When we talked to Erik before the game,
yes.
I hate when announcers do that, but we did talk to him before the game, and you got the feeling like he had just, you know, he had kind of come out of the volcano.
Right.
He had really like had his back to the wall and went through a lot, and now feels like he's in a position of strength. Didn't you get that feeling from him?
He seemed to feel it was almost as Ellis slams it on the feed from Lee. Spoelstra almost seemed to feel it was necessary for them to go through that adversity in order to come together as a team.
Yeah, it was like he expected it.
And you got to give him credit because I talked to a lot of the players on the Heat team when they were going through their situation, adversity. They said he remained the same. The guy was cool, calm, and they adapted his mentality.
Zydrunas Ilgauskas with a higher field goal percentage this year than he's ever had in the NBA. This is his 13th season. Ellis to an open David Lee, who knocks down the baseline J.
And the interesting thing when that fell apart and there was a story that was obviously planted by LeBron's camp, LeBron never really came out and totally defended him. And at that point you thought, wow, this guy might be in trouble. But they survived it.
Nothing like good offense, ball movement, man movement. Not standing on the perimeter. Monte Ellis slashed to the hoop, says I got it.
Back here at Oracle Arena, which is rocking here tonight. The Miami Heat on a 6-game winning streak are in town, but LeBron and company have just a 2-point lead on the Warriors, who are playing without the injured Stephen Curry. Are you guys surprised this game is so close?
Not by me, because being a veteran in this league, these are the type of games that are trap games. When you think, oh, they're short-handed, we're going to come out and dominate them. Other teams elevate their game because they're ready for you, and this Warrior team has come out ready to play this game.
And there's great energy in the building, which is always going to lift an underdog, I think, a little bit.
David Lee with a tough catch and finish, and we're tied.
I like how you had to drop that you were once a veteran in this league. You're trying to make me feel small. Don't think I noticed that.
Now, did you ever play?
In high school.
That's playing. That counts.
Thank you.
Wade gets the roll. He's got a game-high 15. Does that make him part of your fraternity, Mark?
Yes. No, I was just trying to juice him.
Is there some potential now for a Wade and Ellis back and forth? I feel like there is. Maybe I don't get my hopes up for it, but we could have a little mano-a-mano.
That would be very exciting.
I'd be excited.
Because these two guys can score the rock.
And I'm not sure either guy can guard the other if they end up guarding each other.
No, either one of these guys get hot. It's a question of the help behind them. They're not going to be able to contain each other one-on-one.
Ron Gerritson's over at the video monitor on the other side of the court, taking a look to see if this was a 2 or a 3 by Ellis.
No, smart play by Monte Ellis, too. Getting the defender in the air, taking the hit and realizing, get the ball up.
Wade and Darrell Wright are standing next to each other, but I don't know how friendly it is. Is it friendly? It's a little awkward.
Former teammates and good buddies. Let's take a look and see. 2.
Yeah. Good call, Dan. Thanks.
I'm glad our referees get it right. I'm tired of watching football games where they get it wrong.
Oh, you have to attack football for it.
I'm just being honest. I'm fair, but I'm firm. If you have the luxury to take a look at it, Get it right.
Coming up tomorrow night, it'll be Pony Excess. This is the final installment of the critically acclaimed 30 for 30 package of movies on ESPN and ESPN HD. This is the story of SMU and the first and only death penalty handed out to a college football program in NCAA history. The man sitting just to my right, Bill Simmons, was kind of the creative mind behind and the executive producer of ESPN's 30 for 30. This turned into something pretty good, didn't it?
There were many creative minds, but yeah, I was involved, and we're at the last one. I think the one thing with this one, coming off the heels of Cam Newton, it's a lot different.
Right.
This SMU back then in the 80s. If you think the Cam Newton thing was bad, where do you see this?
Which was your favorite movie of the 30? Yeah,
I like the Marcus Dupree one. I think was my favorite, just from beginning to end. And it was so random to do, a guy in the early 80s, but I love that one.
With Mark Jackson, Heather Cox, and Bill Simmons is the other voice you're hearing. The sports guy making his debut as an NBA game analyst. And, Darrell Wright does very well when you're in the building. He's knocking down shots.
I want him to look over at me, though.
That'll be Miami ball. Wright is 4 for 5 from three-point range tonight for the Warriors.
They're making the mistake of leaving a shooter wide open. Mia Gsw runs back and said, we got to communicate. Stay at home on the shooters.
Tied at 45.
Interesting situation. The Warriors have a foul to give with 17 seconds left on the shot clock. If I'm in this situation, I don't take the foul because 5 seconds is plenty of time to get another shot on the other end of the floor.
LeBron. In the corner, James Jones knocks down the three.
Great offense, great execution, and the vision of LeBron James.
Assist number 6 on the night for LeBron. Time for the Warriors. Reggie Williams. And a very competitive first half comes to a close with Miami leading by 3. And again, the athleticism, the vision, and the pinpoint passing of LeBron James opening up a 3 for James Jones from the corner. And Miami, on the strength of that play, takes a 3-point lead into the break. Miami did get out in transition some, did get the ball to the rim some, but Golden State hung tough. Every time Miami pulled away a little bit, the Warriors caught up. One of the big reasons why they caught up, Darrell Wright spent the first 6 years of his NBA career with Miami, has made 4 threes in this game for the Warriors. Here he goes to start the second half. Misses his first attempt at the rebound to Chris Bosh, who did not have a very productive first half. Bosh now has 6 points and 5 rebounds in the game.
And there's some nights where Chris Bosh looks explosive and other nights where he looks very old. Tonight, he looks old, not able to blow by bigger guys that's nowhere near as athletic as him. He's got to be aggressive just like that first possession.
One thing Bosh said just a couple of days ago is, I know who I am. If I'm a jump shooting big man, I'm a jump shooting big man. And he certainly seems more comfortable taking jumpers from the elbow than posting up or attacking the rim.
The one thing I don't understand is why he's not rebounding more. I just thought, on this team especially, I just thought he'd be in the 11 to 12 range, and he's barely at 8.
He's down 3 rebounds a game from last year. LeBron tied up by David Lee. Heather Cox had a chance at halftime to visit with Keith Smart, the coach of the Warriors. Heather, what'd you find out?
And Dan, coach was obviously very optimistic. He liked the energy that he saw from his team and the way his team moved the ball, and was very impressed that they didn't settle by making plays for themselves, but were very unselfish. Now, he also said the key, they always, or at least almost always, got 4 bodies back so that James and Wade always had bodies in front of them. I asked about his concern, and he said he certainly expects both James and Wade to start being much more aggressive, penetrate, and they needed to make those adjustments here in the second half.
You know, and he says even though they're not getting the results, they haven't been getting the wins lately, he loves the effort that his team is giving. Golden State's lost 5 in a row, but here's who they've played: San Antonio, Phoenix, Oklahoma City, Dallas, San Antonio again. Now this game tonight, then they go to Utah Monday. Well, you play in the Western Conference and play obviously the vast majority of your games against Western Conference teams. You can get on a losing streak even if you are playing pretty well.
And really, that's the luxury of the teams we're talking about in the Eastern Conference. They're beating the teams they're supposed to beat and battling in other situations.
And Keith Smart does not like the way the second half begins. 5 quick points for Miami. An 8-0 run for the Heat, carrying back to the closing seconds of the first half, and Keith Smart will use an early timeout. Dwayne Wade with a game-high 17, and Miami now up by 8. Every team's best shot. Here's Coach Spoelstra commenting on what it's like to have a target constantly on your back.
We're not running away from expectations or the pressure. All of this, I think, toughens us. We've been through a lot of extreme circumstances already in this season. A lot of that is brought on because of how this team was put together. We embrace that, and in the end, hopefully that will make us stronger as a unit.
And I'm not sure they always embraced it, because all three of these guys that came over together, they had never really been hated before. They had always been, the crowd was always with them, the fans were always with them, and I do think, Mark, that takes a little while to adjust, right?
No, absolutely. You've got to be willing to embrace going into hostile situations and elevate your game.
And you played with Reggie Miller, who loved nothing more than going into the opposing arena and shutting them down.
Love the fact that 20,000 people would be booing, people would be trash talking, everybody would be hating, embracing his failure, and once, time and time again, rose to the occasion. What this team has to realize is, an old preacher once told me, trials and tribulations are transportation to where you're going to. Embrace what they went through early and now get to where they're called to get to.
And they went through a lot of different things, as Eric Spoelstra told us, that they've had critics of each of the big three for the numbers not being what they usually are. Critics of their point guards, critics of their centers, critics of their coach, critics of just about everything. So they do feel they're all in this together because nobody has been spared.
And he made it sound like a merry-go-round, like, oh, this week it's Bosch's turn. Yeah. This week it's my turn. Oh, this week it's LeBron's turn.
You know what's good about it? Normally you think, oh, he's just making up stories, but everything he said was factual.
Right.
All of those guys have been through something.
Arroyo wide open, and he continues to shoot the ball well. He's shooting better than 50% on his threes so far this season.
I think every one of them's been wide open, though.
If I'm anybody not named LeBron James or Dwayne Wade in a Heat uniform, I'm working on my jump shot every single day, because those are the shots that I'm going to get. I'm going to be wide open.
I think Mike Miller is salivating at the opportunity to get healthy and come back and be a part of this team.
He's got to be going crazy.
Yeah. LeBron, Mia Gsw is hammered from behind.
Okay, coming out of halftime, the energy in this building kind of faded away, and I don't know if it's coming back.
Did you pass like that in high school, Bill?
No.
Did you shoot like that in high school?
No. I do. I tweeted this before. I want to come back in my next life as James Jones. So all he has to do is shoot 7 wide open threes a game. And that's it. They don't want him to do anything else.
And he's a shooter, so it's right up his alley.
Perfect.
They got a few. Arroyo can shoot it. Jones, Miller when he gets healthy. Mia Gsw, not really a three-point shooter, but one of the best shooting big men in the NBA.
And those guys will benefit, but also Wade and LeBron, because there's certain guys you're not going to want to help off of. Mike Miller's a knockdown shooter.
Durrell Wright.
You know, he played the entire first half. He never came out. I wonder if he lost his legs a little.
Wade with a beautiful feed. Miami scoring in bunches right now. And what was a 3-point lead at the half is already a 13-point lead 3.5 minutes into the second half.
And traditionally, the rebound is made. The point guard is running out to get the outlet pass. The luxury that Carlos Arroyo has is off to the races. Look at these guys sprint and fill the lanes. Oh.
Wow. Another timeout by Golden State. The Miami Heat flexing their muscles, Mark, here in the third quarter.
The folks came to see a show. The show has arrived. Take them to the streets. Defensively getting it done. Throw it upstairs. Mama, there goes that man. Outstanding job of taking advantage of quality defense. The Heat balling.